Hi everyone, how's everyone doing? If you go to my YouTube channel, Marianne Hanson Counselling Service, you'll see that I've already made a video about this topic, which is about how to build or maintain connection with others. So I think I did it as a live stream, and it was based on Deepak Chopra, and you can find his information on YouTube. And he's also written lots of books about the 7 stages of connection. So as I was talking to one of my clients today, we were talking about this idea of obviously building connections with your colleagues at work, building connections with managers, and how important that is when you're at work. So this information that I'm going to share, you can use this with partners, with family members, with friends, with colleagues. The key thing here is how can you form deeper connections with others and maintain that. So the first thing, which is one of the biggest things, really is to listen. So as a counsellor, obviously, if I wasn't good at listening skills, then I'd be rubbish at my job. Part of being a counsellor, you have to be able to listen. You still have to be able to communicate, pick up on people's body language, use interventions, but you have to listen. You have to keep track of what people are saying. You have to listen. And active listening is different from just listening and then not remembering anything that's been said. So if you can improve your listening skills, you will build rapport with a lot more people. And that includes things as well when you are listening. Body language comes into that, eye contact, be genuinely interested in what the person has to say. So listening is a good way of building rapport. And then that leads on to the next one, which is to have genuine interest. So in counselling, when we were on our training course, when we're thinking about person-centred counselling, where your focus is on the person, we develop skills like non-judgmental attitude, something called unconditional positive regard. And what that really means is that there's no conditions to what the person is saying. There's no putting up barriers. You are just unconditionally saying to that person that I respect you as a human being, that there's warmth there between us, that there is you are open to listening and to understanding that person, basically. Then it's also things like empathy. So if you can be around a person, whether it's your partner, friends, family, even strangers really, and you can just have some genuine interest in what they've got to say, you will build that rapport. So I was talking about when I used to sort of babysit for my nieces and nephews. So there were only 5 or 6 at the time. One of my nephews, Isaac, he's into Lego. So he's obsessed with it. He used to be more obsessed, but he really, really likes Lego. So anywhere we used to go, it was like, he'd pop into like the toy shop and he'd spend hours with Lego. He'd be building Lego stuff at home. And I'm not into Lego, but he's into it. So it's not about what I'm into, it's about him. So he would sometimes ask and say, Auntie Marianne, you don't really want to do this, do you? And I'd be like, no, of course I do, Isaac. I love Lego. And then I'd get like all building stuff with him to just make it shown that, I'm genuinely interested in something that you like. And the same as with my niece, when she's into reading and drawing, she plays the piano, she does netball. Even the fact that I'll go out and buy a netball like stuff. I will just really, I think with children, you have to put it on a bit more, because children are quite clever as well. You don't want to overdo it where you're just being fake. But at the same time, a child, even at 2 or 3, if they look up at you and they can see in your face that you're bored, they'll feel it. They just know. So you do have to sometimes put it on a bit. But with your partner or with adult to adult, it's not about you sometimes. Sometimes maybe you don't want to hear about your partner going on about his favourite football team. Maybe sometimes you don't want to hear about your partner talking about the favourite recipes that they're going to cook. But the worst thing you can do sometimes to someone is when they're really enthusiastic and when they're talking about something that they're passionate about and that's important to them, is to be doing all the rolling your eyes, or to just say, oh, you're always talking about this, or to just put them down, because it shuts that person down. It makes them think that you don't think the things that are important to them are valuable enough. Because I know for me that even though I wouldn't kind of be that person who's going to talk about stuff when I know it's not I choose my audience. So I'm not going to sit and talk to someone if I know that that's not their thing. But at the same time, if I was talking about something that's important to me as a person and they were just yawning, sighing, rolling their eyes, looking away, changing the subject, it would make me feel a bit hurt, because I'd be thinking, oh, why they're not interested in this, you know. So that's one way you can build rapport, is to just be genuinely interested, you know. Tell that person, oh, that's interesting, I didn't know that. Or make it seem as though at least you care a little bit. And the final thing is, which leads on to it a little bit, is if someone's interested in something, provide opportunities and space for that person to be able to talk about it. So this could apply to when your partner comes back from work, you know, because a lot of times what we do is we make it about us. So they walk through the door and the first thing you start saying, oh, I'm so glad you're home. Now I can sit down. I've had the kids all day and I've had such a bad day. The person hasn't even got through the door yet. But also, what about them? If you were to switch that even just a tiny little bit, where you hold onto your stuff for a minute and you say, how has your day been? Do you know, when people say to me, because they don't say it often, how are you? If I get one of my nieces, nephews, my mum, anyone in my life who says, Marianne, how are you? It's so powerful, because I don't get asked that a lot of the time, because obviously as a counsellor, you're checking in with your clients. As a person, you're always asking how other people are. So how powerful it is when someone just says to me, how are you? How's your day been? How's your business going? I feel that more, because it's like, it's not said as much. So instead of talking about yourself all of the time, you know, or about the economy, or, you know, about the weather, or about all the things that people normally complain about, but also just coming from a perspective of you need to share with everyone all the stuff that's going on for you. Switch that around and just ask another person, how are you? How have things been going for you? How's your daughter? How's your, you know, your relationship, whatever it is. That will build real rapport. So to me, it can be tricky building rapport with people, but you can build rapport with anyone, from a stranger. You can build rapport with clients, with family members, with colleagues. It takes time, and also it's going to go up and down. Sometimes people are having a bad day, so no matter what you do, you're not going to get like the feedback. Today I was walking around the park, and I've also had opportunities to go into like the Tesco and to go to different places. In the park, randomly, I was just saying morning to everyone and smiling, and everyone was saying morning back. In fact, someone even said, how are you? We were going in different directions, and I was like, morning. And then he was like, morning. And he said, how are you? Oh, and I kept walking because I was in a rush, but it was nice to like have a bit of that. And then also in the Tesco as well, he was looking bored. So I just said to him, I'll come and give you something to do, because I could have gone to the self-checkout, but I like to use the tills, because, you know, that's what the staff are there for, and they want to be able to do that. So find opportunities to build that rapport with people. Think about ways that you can do that. And I just think, you know, we can connect on different levels with different people at different times. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you think about this video. Thanks for watching. Please feel free to leave your comments, and also share this video with others if you think they'll benefit too. Thanks for watching. Bye.